Alright, some more park and shoot house. Let's just do regular course. So last night, I ended up finishing out the Holger here. Check this stupid piece of dog. There it is, the Obsidian Holger. So, I'm so tired, man. Currently on the Bruin. The Bruin is the final one for the LMGs and stuff. Then I have these two SMGs and then these ARs besides the M4. These will generally be easier since they're good guns and everything, but they're 200 each. So, I mean, they're gonna be long-winded and super annoying weapons, honestly. They really are. I'm on the Bruin at the moment. I'm just using like just random stuff. Monolithic suppressor, go tac laser. I put this sight on it because I personally don't really like the iron sights on this thing. Sometimes it's good and other times it's not. I go no stock anyway because I don't really care. At 30 out of 150, it's been much easier, especially in hardcore, because so the weird thing about the Holger that I was complaining about the entire time was that it actually ended up literally taking 2 bullets at any range in hardcore for someone to actually die. So in hardcore, I would basically get beat out straight up by any other weapon if they fired even close to at the same time that I did. I would just get straight up, like my time to kill would just be too long. I have never seen weapons repeatedly at close range get hit markers in hardcore. I've never seen that before. So as soon as I swapped over to the Bruin, this was beautiful. I was actually killing people when it hit. Now, I'm back in the normal core at the moment, and I got the really nice graphical settings on, so everything is like a little bit lighter or whatever. You guys likely aren't gonna notice a difference or whatever, but for a while I've been playing without these settings that I've had on here to try to, you know, make the screen a bit more clear for me. Brightness and all that other stuff, exposure and all that. Hoping that it's gonna help. Oh, and also I ended up changing my aim response curve back around again. I changed it off of dynamic back to standard. Just, I don't know why I just did. It just felt right. I don't know if it's actually helping me or not, but that's what I did. I was doing anything in my power. That Holger truly made me feel like I was an awful player. I cannot. It's gotta be the worst gun in the game. So I unlocked the Obsidian Holger. Now we're on the Bruin or whatever. Once that's all done, you know, then I can move on to the last 2 SMGs and then just AR the rest of the way, and then we're home free. We're done. Bring any, you know, brand new weapon releases or whatever, but that'll be on its own thing or whatever, I guess. But so Calvin Kattar versus Dan Ige. It was a really good fight. Went 5 rounds. Calvin Kattar ended up winning, I think, either 3 rounds to 1 or 4 rounds to 1 or whatever on most of the cards. I'm not entirely sure. He basically outstruck him in every single round, but it was a good fight. I mean, both of the guys were in danger at certain points. They were hurting each other. They were giving back whatever they were given. It was nice. It was a nice fight. It was good. And some of the other fights were also really good on there as well. Oh yeah, apparently at one point there was a bunch of Twitters that ended up getting hacked or something. And apparently Twitter disabled a bunch of verified users' tweets, like we couldn't tweet or something, because I guess the people that got hacked were like tweeting out some link or some somehow they got like access to a bunch of different accounts and then just tweeted like some sort of Cash App or something. I don't know. That was probably one of the more crazy things that I've seen before. So apparently they ended up taking the verified users' ability to tweet away. You couldn't do anything. So a bunch of verified people were hopping onto like secondary accounts and like retweeting themselves. I mean, I don't usually use Twitter. People told me about it, but I'm telling you right now, if it was still happening, I was this close to changing my @ just to lose verification just to tweet. I can't be the only verified person that was about to do that. Honestly, verification on Twitter has brought me a lot of cool things, I guess, but ultimately, you know what happens when you get verified on Twitter? You guys don't even understand. You'll get randomly spam followed by the other verified people that are all trying to get a bunch of verified followers. They're aware that their follow gives you a notification and they will keep spamming. There's a lot of people that do that. I ain't gonna say any names, but there's a lot of people that do that. This is why I stayed off of Twitter and literally turned off like all notifications. I don't care. I'm in my own world here. I don't even do this. So one thing I noticed about this park and shoot house playlist is that now every single time that we're not gonna get the map that we want, shoot house, we end up getting park. So I don't know why this is the case, but it seems like every single time they do a playlist where they're combining maps, if Shipment is in it, it's the one that comes up least in rotation for some reason. It's like it's on out of like 3 different maps. I feel like the other 2 have a 40% chance to make it, and then they leave Shipment at like 20% chance to roll. If there's 2 different maps here, you would think that it would be 50-50 every single time I rolled, right? I just finished playing Park. Now I just rolled Park again. Let's try to pick this again and see if we get Shoot House. It's a 50-50 chance every single time I rolled it. And for whatever reason, we end up getting Park almost every single time. I don't know what it is. It's like 70-30 now all of a sudden. Like, I shouldn't say all of a sudden. This is how they do their playlists. I don't know why they do this. It's like they take the maps that they know are overall played less and then up their percentages to try to keep their play rates up. for some reason. It's almost like it's being done this way to show that maybe the maps look like they're better designed and more wanted than they actually are. They go, oh, well, a lot of people wouldn't be playing this map if it was bad, right? What if you just don't give us the choice? What if it's that players are just handed that map more often and then we just have to take it? I'm just saying, man. Oh, and also, I ended up finding a new soundtrack for Requise. I have a whole idea of, like, thematically how he's going to be. Don't worry, I'll still have the old classic music in there. I got some new music in the background for Requise once that whole thing, you know, starts. Another game of Park. This is another brand new lobby. It also obviously doesn't help that I don't have shipment. Dude, is it Park 24/7? The way that people play in those buildings. I said that Park was arguably top 3 maps, but when you actually get into lobby after lobby after lobby, and more than half of those lobbies had to be cherry-picked, and then chop those lobbies in half to actually be playable. And there's a plethora of reasons why a lobby isn't playable. Either your team is completely spineless, my teammates keep just following me around, not doing anything. The other team is absolutely smashing us. Or they got some young gods that only ever, and I mean ever, sit in the storefront and the bar buildings. That's all they do. They just sit on that side of the map and just go for long shots only. Like, I literally don't even touch that side of the map anymore. I'm done with it. That long street that isn't blocked by vehicles, fuck that whole side of the map. Dude! This cannot just be by chance. Seriously, it can't. Infinity Ward, if you ever make any playlists like this shit again, okay? Make Shoot House 70%, not Park. Yeah, Calvin Kattar looked really good, man. I don't really know, like, how and when he wins in the top 5 in that whole division, because the division is just so stacked. 145, but I don't know who he's supposed to fight next. I know that he just basically said, hey, I want a title shot and all this other stuff or whatever, but whatever it is that he ends up getting, I mean, it's got to be a top 5 guy. It has to be. He's number 6, just defended his number 6 spot by the number 10 guy. I don't think that warrants necessarily a title shot, but, I mean, I would watch him if he had to fight for the title. I absolutely would. Yeah, the Holger straight up by itself made me almost stop going for this completely. I literally was about to say, fuck it, I don't care. Then I remembered what it was like to not use a weapon that was truly just designed for you to fail. Infinity Ward, I'm telling you right now, I'm not saying overbuff it or do anything crazy. I'm just saying, buff the Holger. Help that thing out. How do you not one-shot in hardcore? I'm just not understanding. The only way you can get one-shots in hardcore with that thing is a headshot. It's 1 and 1. There are 2 different maps, right? 100%, 50-50. Whenever I flip a coin, I should equally, more often than not, get one or the other. We flip the coin, I just got heads right there. That's Park. We want tails. What are the odds that I'm going to flip heads 5-6 times in a row? 50% chance, right? Why is it not consistent for tails? Is it the way I'm flipping it? I'm searching for the matches. Oh, well, nice. Nice. All right, cool. Got into a game. I'm happy. I also ended up seeing some people like on the UFC Reddit or whatever for the EA UFC game. I'd say about like 30% of the time you'll find like an actual positive post or people just more so just being like, oh, let's wait around for the game to see if it gets better and all this other stuff. And then the other 70% in that context is, you know, people just complaining about one thing or another about, you know, the new UFC. Basically, like it's UFC 3, but just worse. Are new things, but if overall those, you know, main things that we were used to on UFC 3 are all broken and worse than they were before, I mean, is it worth it? I mean, honestly, at that point, I'd rather just get a straight up update for UFC 3 instead. I would have rather the, you know, the game just been a straight up copy paste with no changes at all then. To update the roster or something. So there's a lot of, you know, strong opinions out there about the game or whatever, but I ended up coming across a post where somebody actually kind of convinced me and changed my mind a little bit in my head. It's not like, you know, I'm posting on Reddit or anything anyway, but just reading them or whatever, I ended up coming across one post where the guy ended up showing the entire change list and patch notes for UFC 3 when it released, because they also had a beta, and people are arguing that, oh, this beta is too close for them to change anything majorly and all this other stuff. Apparently, this was the case for UFC 3 before as well, though. There were a lot of complaints, and a whole bunch of things ended up changing when the full game actually came out. So we'll have to sit around and wait for the actual game to come out, and I know that a lot of people ended up making the arguments, oh, it's just a beta, things will change, blah, blah, blah. We're not far from the game's release, though. Like, not far enough for them to make any major change. Maybe they can change things at a, you know, a bigger scale than I thought that they could, but there's definitely some glaring issues with the game. I'll get used to it and over it regardless, but I'm not gonna sit here and play a game that's, you know, not fun to watch or play all at once. Regardless of the outcome or however the game feels or plays or whatever, I'm still gonna do, you know, the whole Requise career mode and everything like that, starting from the bottom all the way up to champion and being undefeated and retiring and whatever other things that that they have on there just to complete it. But past that point, if the game is busted and just stupid and just not good, I'm just not gonna bother, you know, playing all those online matches. Because if the game is really broken and gets abused in certain ways, it's not gonna be fun. It's not that I think you guys expect me to play something that's dumb and broken anyway, but still, here I am playing this game, right? Seriously, besides bashing on Modern Warfare, this game, I mean, it's definitely one of the best Call of Duties in recent years. It's just the skill-based matchmaking and other things, like stylistically, mechanically, and everything over top on this game. It's insane. It's really good. But the skill-based matchmaking, some of the map design, the time to kill. No, regardless, you know, the grind continues, change some stuff around. Likely just gonna get frustrated and change some more things around again. I'm just driving myself nuts at this point, but we're almost done.